It's Monday, and it's Real Estate 101 on the MARKPIRES Real Talk Show. And we're going to get into it like we do every day, but for these segments, it's about real estate. So, if you have any questions, any comments that you'd like to share, I'd love to hear about it. This is typically a call-in show, so I will switch the screen over in a second so you guys can call in if you'd like. And let's try to keep it real estate related for today. And this evening when I come back for the show, we can get into whatever. So if you're out there, say hello. I'm going to head over to the YouTube page real quick and join anybody and everybody who may be connecting with me. So guys, we are here 694 days in a row, and this is just a real estate segment that I've been starting to do recently. I wanted to just remind everybody of a few things. Mainly that all day, every day, I'm in the real estate market. I focus on buying, selling real estate for my clients and acquiring new clients. The job of a realtor is really one job. It's lead generation. That's what it is. Everything else is done anyway. Ralph, how are you, my friend? Look, it's not a competition, Ralph, but if it was, you won big league, really. So good to see you, buddy. I'm kicking it here for day 694 in a row, but for a short segment. We're going on just to talk about the real estate market. We're currently heading right into Thanksgiving. You know, it's one of my favorite holidays. But across the country, there have been new regulations laid out, new rules, and some strict punishment if you don't follow the rules. So, with that in mind, the holiday season is drastically shifted from a typical Thanksgiving that we are used to having. So if that's the case, what are we expecting? What am I expecting as a real estate agent with this week coming up? Now, what we used to get is everybody coming home to spend time with their families, their parents, from wherever their respective homes are across the country, across the globe. And that would be an opportunity to meet new potential buyers, people who remember they have that nostalgia of, oh, where I grew up and my friends and all of those things that are important. And this year, we don't have that. This year, what they've said is any more than 6, I don't even understand the rules, but there are so many different rules and you can't go for more than 2 hours. And so with all of this fear-driven, the directive is to keep us as far apart as possible and you can't even see your family. Now, again, we have free will. We have the ability to recognize that we're within 6 to 10 feet of somebody. If we could properly social distance, they shouldn't be able to make any sort of rules like this, but they have. So now people are not traveling like they were over the holidays. And this it's going to be for Christmas. We're talking with our family on how we're going to get together. It's going to be very difficult this year. We're just thinking, like a Zoom Christmas. What the hell is that? What is a Zoom Christmas? Oh, how's that gift? I don't know. Let me open it up in front of you on camera real quick. But we're dealing with it, right? Everybody's dealing with it. And so my question is, going into this holiday weekend, it's usually the Thursday through Sunday, could be pretty slamming for a real estate agent. But if everybody's staying home, what am I looking forward to? I guess it's going to be very similar to what I'm used to every other day, where it's just whatever clients are out in the marketplace. We're not going to have that extra burst of potential clientele coming into town. So this year it's whatever market you're in, it's going to stay similar during the holiday. You're not going to get any boost out of that extra time. Hey, Emma, how are you? Emma said, oh, good to see you, Emma. Emma said, there's a lot going on in the U.S., right? I feel really sorry for your country because I feel like there's a lot of hatred and division. And I am sorry for how terrible the whole COVID situation is for your country. Please stay safe. Thank you, Emma. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Guys, if you haven't followed me over on Twitch yet, Emma's over on Twitch. I'd love for you to follow me there. We're on like 9 platforms when we're live here, but the real main platforms I'd love for you to make sure you definitely follow me on right here on YouTube. DLive is going to be one of the biggest platforms going forward for this program. We're going to be doing a weekly show over there, most likely as Hammerlin Jameson. Call-in show with Hammerlin. I can just see how great that's going to be already. So that's probably the plan on DLive. So make sure you follow DLive. But Twitch, I would do something special on Twitch as well if I can get Twitch to become a focus. So maybe Emma can help with that because she does like Twitch. But here's the thing, guys. Emma's right. This is why the show began, Emma. This is why I exist on social media. The hatred of the United States. It got to a point where it was so thick I couldn't walk down the street without feeling it. And I decided to say, if no one else is going to make a change, I know it has to be done, and I'm just going to start. Now, I did think that people would be open to change. People would be like, great, positivity, let's give this guy a listen. But when you have fake news and you have social media platforms that are sowing the division, they want us divided because what that does is allow them to create the next narrative, It's a sad thing when you can search within your soul and realize that how simple it would be for us to come together. And everybody's just deciding instead to hate. So even I found myself on Facebook, for example. You can follow me on Facebook, /MarkPIRES. That's all you have to do, facebook.com/MarkPIRES. On Facebook, people are so vehement towards each other. It's like, I don't understand it. You can't just have a back and forth. I don't know where we went wrong as a society. You know where we went wrong as a society? When we decided that it was so important to have this, and that whenever I need to get an answer for anything, it's right here. So whenever somebody has something to say to me, I don't have attention span's gone and the fuse has gotten shorter. So someone says something to you, and instead of just responding oh, well, I respect your opinion, but I disagree. It's well, why don't you go kill yourself? And by the way, you should just remove me as a friend. Whoa. But that's the world we're living in. And this is why it's a very scary time and why I've been live every day since, Emma. So December 31st, 2018 came and I started the show, and I've been live with you every day since. And we do a lot every day. It's an interesting thing. I don't think anybody will be able to see everything I've created. It'll be impossible. It'd be impossible. Nobody's ever going to be able to capture and review. And maybe that's a fault of mine by doing so much, by creating so much. But there is so much content over the last 2 years, 694 days in a row. And every show the beginnings were 20 minutes. Then they went to an hour. And then we're doing an hour and a half because I'm doing it on all these different platforms. But once we hit YouTube, that was day 316, I think. 316 days in, we hit YouTube for the first time. And since then, let me take that back. Not for the first time. I did YouTube at the very beginning of Real Talk for a month. I don't know why I stopped, because I remember thinking to myself, this is where I can do a half hour. I'll just go and talk for a half hour. And I did. I do 5, 5, 5, and then I do a half on YouTube, and it was great stuff. And I just stopped. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't even know what I was thinking. It was just a lot to do 6 lives a day, because I was doing Instagram, LinkedIn, which is not live, but I'd film something and then it would go to LinkedIn. It would be LinkedIn specific. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, which then became Periscope for me. I didn't know what the heck Periscope was. But now, so we're live on Periscope every day as well, if anybody wants to follow me on Periscope. Dana, how are you? Wendy, how are you? And Menacing, so good to see you guys. Sig, my brother. You can say Christmas thanks to you and Trump. You guys deserve the Nobel Peace Prize for all the accomplishments. You know what? It's interesting you say that. Gampy, how you doing? Look, Gampy's a retired realtor. My busiest months were Christmas because everyone bailed except me. Did it 25 years and retired at 55. Do I miss it? No. Gampy, I love that. Great story. I'd love to get you on the phone sometime, Gampy. Tell me we could chat shop, I'll tell you a really funny story. Gampy's going to appreciate this. So it's December, let's call it 15th. I took a listing over for an agent in mid-October. This is a year or two into me being a realtor. 2013, okay? I just got my drone. That's why I know it's 13. 2013, I took over this listing for an agent in my office who was not getting along with the client. Someone had to step in. They brought in 2 agents, me and another agent. He and I went in there. We both presented. I got the listing. I said, hey, look, I have this new tech. It's called a drone. Now, this house had been on the market 7 times, Gampy. 7 times over 5 years. When I say 7 times, 7 agents, I'm sorry. 7 agents over 5 years, okay? And the agent I took over was really number 8. So 8 agents, okay? And so I take this listing over, and the lady was difficult. That's why she had 8 agents. But I'm calm with everybody. I'll take the craziest person in the world, and I'll calm them down. This is, you see what I've been doing here for 694. So crazy as can be, I'm still going to beat away at the craziness and get you to understand the truth and level out. So October comes, November, and December we're in. So 3 months in, I have 34 showings in 3 months. This is insane. I'll tell you why I had 34 showings. I took my drone, and for the first time ever, this house is on a hill. So you had its driveway up to the house. Every agent before me took a picture from the driveway, and you're looking on some weird angle at the house. I said, I just got this new tech. It's called a drone. Let me do a few things over there. I fly my drone up in the air. I get to about 15 to 18 feet up. That's it. All you needed to be was 15 to 18 feet up. Oh, I got this amazing shot, this angle. I always say, when I got my drone, I remember my wife said to me, now everyone's just going to go buy a drone, Mark. I said, yeah, but that doesn't mean they have an eye. Anybody could buy the equipment. If you don't know how to use the equipment, you wasted your money. For me, as an artist, the eye, like before I go to any property, I've scouted out 10 places in my mind. I can't wait to get that drone. So regardless, you have to know what to shoot, just not have the equipment. So I get this thing up in the air. I took a shot. 34 showings. So we're at December 18th, December 19th. We're still showing. Mark, I want to take the house off the market for the holidays. Nobody's out. No one's buying. I said, you have showings. If you didn't have anybody showing right now, I would say, okay, look, nobody's showing the house. But even then, I wouldn't want you to take, I think it's stupid to take your house off the market in the holidays. So I said, look, keep it on the market because we're still getting activity. The pictures look great, and we haven't seen a lull. If we see a lull, but we don't see a lull. And so here's what I wanted to explain. This is how I get people to keep their house on the market in the winter. So I said, first of all, you got to go with your agent's gut. When your agent feels something, I feel like the market's shifting in your direction, go with your agent. So I said to her, look, I feel like you're going to sell this property. We've had so many people. If you take your house off the market right now, what do you think is going to happen? You have had 8 agents before me. I'm going to be number 9. You're going to go to number 10. I said, just let me continue to do my job. First of all. Secondly, do you know why it's important to keep your house on the market in the wintertime? Gampy nailed it in a different sort of sense. Every homeowner says, well, I'm taking my house off the market for the holidays because nobody's out. Well, you know what? Then you become the shiny penny. Everybody else is off the market, but you remained. You stay there. You keep hitting the marketing process, and that is when you sell. So I think that's something people don't realize, the sellers won't realize. So I had to continue. This is the thing. When I say difficult client, we had 5 conversations every day when I had the listing with her. 5 conversations. She would call me and we'd spend 40 minutes on the phone, then 5 minutes, but every conversation was the same. Are you sure of that? Yes, I'm sure of that. I'm sure that they're going to do an inspection. Yep. And then they're going to come back with some concerns, and then we have to address those concerns, or we have to say, we're not going to do anything with that concern. And bottom line was this. She finally acquiesced. She listens to me. She says, okay, fine. But if I don't, we're taking it off on January 15th. I said, fine, just give me till the 15th, because right now you have multiple things playing in your favor. Everyone coming off the market, everyone coming into town to see their families for the holidays, and then relocations, people who are being transferred from job to job, and you're going to come off the market. I said, look, nobody's going to, here's the other thing that sellers do, just a little side note. I'll have agents send a note out. Hey, we're coming off for the holidays, but if you have an interested party, let me know. Are you freaking kidding me? If I have an interested party, I'm supposed to remember that there was a house that was on the market, but the agent took it off, their clients took it off, but the agent said to call them if there's an interested party. You're on the market or you're off the market. No such thing as in between. No one's calling you. Put it on the market, leave it on the market, sell it. So we get to this phone conversation. Please leave it on the market. Let's do this. Okay. You have all these things going in your favor. There's 3 things that I pointed out. Relocations, people transferred from job to job, holidays, always. people coming into town, which we're not getting this year, but people coming into town to see their families, and they have the nostalgia. The nostalgia factor is huge. Oh, I went to school there. I grew up in that house. You know, my best friend Tommy lived over there, and we used to play ball at that park. You know what? I'm married with a kid now, and maybe it'd be nice to move back to that hometown I grew up in. So nostalgia plays. Number 3 is everybody, as Gampy says, comes off the market because they think, they don't understand. Best time of the year is off season. So there are people only buying the off season because they think they're getting a better deal. So just keep these things in mind. So I get her to stay on the market. January 1st, Gampy. January 1st, New Year's Day of 2014, the phone rings at 9 a.m., Gampy, 9 a.m., and I say, I'm like trying to sleep in. Are you kidding me? 9 a.m. on New Year's Day? I was up till 3. New Year's, we're partying it up, right? I don't know. It's a while ago. I'm just saying. I'm painting a picture for you, okay? So 9 a.m. the phone call comes in. I'd like to show your property on Valley Road. Okay, sounds good to me. Let me call my client. Oh, well, Mark, it's New Year's. Everything's a freaking problem. Mark, it's New Year's Day. Listen, do you want to sell your house or not? If someone's going out to look at homes on New Year's Day, that is as serious as they come. Okay, just tell them they have to come, whatever. They go over there. I sold the house on New Year's Day. So next time someone tells you, oh, well, there are no buyers in the winter months and in the off season, tell them that story. It happens all the time, and the people that sell are the ones that are on the market. That's it. So this year, like I said, I'm here with you every single day to do the Real Talk show, but I'm starting this daily Real Talk moment. It's going to be Real Talk Real Estate 101. We just talk about what I do during the day. This is where I have to make money until we can figure out if Real Talk does that. So if you do have anybody who needs to buy or sell, you know what I want to do? This is going to be the next Real Talk for tomorrow. We're on the air live. We're going to scout, or we're going to locate a lead for somebody. So this is how it works. Like Glenn, my brother, Glenn's on right now. Glenn, I think you're in the city, right? So Glenn, for example, is like, hey, you know what? I want to rent a new place in the city. So Glenn calls and he says, hey, Mark, you know what? I'm getting to the end of my lease. I want to rent a new place in the city. I didn't like my last agent. Can you help me out? So what we're going to do is we're going to actually take all the information. We're going to do this with somebody. We're going to get all the basic information. How much budget, square footage, what are they looking for specifically? And then I'm going to do the work, and we're going to come back and we're going to kind of review who I found, what they offer. Because what I find is most people just go with whoever. They're like, oh, I made a phone call and that's the agent. Irene got her house between Christmas and New Year's. See, another off-season purchase. Irene, that's amazing. And Irene's over on Twitch with us, which is so cool. Like I said, I really want to grow on Twitch. I want to grow over on DLive and continue to build the family out on the YouTube page. Anybody have any other questions about real estate or concerns? Anything that they dealt with? I think that Gampy probably has a ton of great stories that he could share as well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Gampy said it right. I learned early on the money wasn't selling real estate, it was owning it. Yeah, thank you, Gampy. I'll tell you what, I appreciate you telling me that at 42, because I've been thinking about that for a few years. When you have three kids and everything else in life that you got to kind of get through and live in Fairfield County, it's kind of difficult to go out there and just start picking up properties as well. But that's my goal, is to start doing that, is to somehow, like Sig, how many homes do you own or are you entangled in? Because Sig had a smart idea. Same thing. You start buying up property. You get people in there. They pay off the note over 30 years, whatever, 15 years, and that is where you make your money. It's so true. My father-in-law's father, my wife's grandfather, was he owned 7 homes. And that's how he made his money. Well, not really. Originally, he made his money somewhere else. Then he bought property. It's just Gampy's exactly what Gampy's saying. Hardworking entrepreneur makes money, and he diversifies into real estate, which is what I think would be a smart thing to get into, or would have been a smart thing last year before COVID. Because the bottom line is this market had been depressed for so long. People were stealing stuff. And if that market had continued and people just purchased, I don't know, this pandemic is messing everybody up. It's messing everybody up. But Sig owns 4 homes. See, Sig knows 4 pieces of income. Every single month you have 4 pieces of income. It's the way you can think about it. It's like every month you have money coming in. It's amazing. So they're not building new land yet. Purchase property and you will always be good, as well as your kids. Poor people focus on today. Wealthy focus in future generations. That's so true, Glenn. That's a brilliant point. You know what the issue is, and this is what the point is people can only think into their future generations when they're able to. Life is tough, guys. I don't know many people that, especially with what's going on in CV19, I don't know that many people that are just like, hey, let me think about if I can lay the ground seeds for my kids. Like, yeah, there's a handful. But I think most of us are trying to get into 2021 and hope that there's some light. Although I think we're in the darkness until 2025 with this freaking sleep sofa. We need to get into the following year after this term. And I don't know what happens if she takes over. And then you have this like nation, like, yeah, we have a female president. She's not our president. She pushed him down the stairs. She's a murderer. Sig is awesome because Sig understands how the leads work and the referrals. Like referrals, the way they work are kind of a brilliant thing because you don't pay anything. It's free. It's a free service to you as the client. And what it is you just get someone who's looking out for you and doing some research for you to find you someone to interview. If you don't like that person, you don't use them. You don't have to use someone, but I'm going to find you someone really good. And it's going to be hard for you to say no to them. That's the best way I can explain it. Sid, how are you, buddy? Do igloos count? You know what, Sid? I'm pretty sure I could find a realtor up in Alaska that could sell you an igloo. Sell you an igloo in Nome, Alaska. Oh, my goodness. So good to see you, Sid. So, guys, I did want to come on. This is just a short Real Talk, Real Estate 101. We're just going to do this daily. Come on here and just remind you guys that I do this. And like I said, what I want people to start doing, we're going to do this as a lesson, or not a lesson, but as a test, and see if anybody can actually rack their brains and figure something out like this. But I want to try to do a live lead generation like segment on the show, okay? Where everybody who's in, and right now we only have 8 people on YouTube, but if we had like 80 people on right now, this would be something interesting. Where everybody would rack their head and say, who do I know? Because most people don't need to buy or sell. They're already in the house that they're in, but who do they know? Who do you know that may want to buy a new home or a second home or a third home? And we're going to take those leads live, and we're going to see if we can prove that lead generation works through social media. I know it works, but I want to do it live. And I think it would be a really cool thing. Especially like if Sid was like, yeah, you know what? I got someone who wants to buy an igloo down the road. Let me give Mark a call and let's talk about it. Hey, Mark, you know what? My neighbor, I was talking to him a couple weeks ago. They mentioned that they may want to sell their home. I'm going to go knock on their door and tell them about you. Oh, yeah? I'm glad you called in. Now we have a conversation live with everybody. You know what I mean? And it could be a part of the show. Like these could be segments. This is a daily show every day for the rest of my life, guys. So you could literally take a segment and be a segment in the show. Like this week and next week, AZ Raven and I are talking about the lead she has for me in Arizona. Like, how cool would that be to be a part of the Real Talk program? Send your friends, your family, your leads right into the show. I will find you an amazing agent for them. But then it becomes something where we're actually connecting and interacting together on the show in order to do it. So I'm just continuing to open my mind on how, how we can connect here. And guys, just as a reminder, can you believe it? I found all my discs. I literally have like 500 or 600 of them back in the boxes back there. I shelved that album because of Gabrielle, that song Gabrielle. It's such an angry song. My wife was like, your kids can't listen to that. So I shelved it. But what I'm going to start doing is signing them for all my really awesome donators, the ones who are donating really big money on the show, I really appreciate that. So I want to give you something more than just, I know you're doing it because I'm performing and I'm here every day, but I still want to do more. So I hope you guys understand that. Yes. Yeah, Glenn said there's so much amazing property in Weston and Wilton right now. Yeah, there really is. People focus on CV as a bad thing. I focus on CV as an opportunity. Once the vaccine drops, the uncertain people enter the market again. The uncertainty will fade away and prices will rise again. That's a very good point, Glenn. What's interesting is you're right, because I handled the entire state. I also handled New York. And what I found is Weston and Wilton are still kind of like, you can go out in the outskirts of Wilton, closer to, if you want to go out towards like Reading or anywhere else, Ridgefield, and you can really get a good value right now. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff. People are still kind of squirrely. I don't know. We lost some steam because of the election. That's what I felt. At least personally, I felt like this steam was just like, where the hell did the steam go? But that's because of the election. It's still, who the hell knows what's happening? I think Biden's probably going to be the president, right? I don't know. It seems like that. So just pray for the country, if that's the case. Emma says, I don't know anything about real estate, but it's really interesting to learn about how it works. Well, that I could tell you how that works. So because that would be a good piece of the show. Real estate's a very interesting business. I do enjoy it very much because I'm working with people and I get to help people and affect a positive change one person at a time. So I'm always doing the motto of Real Talk. So it's great. What I don't like is when people don't appreciate your service, when people don't appreciate what you do and how hard you work, and they just say like, oh, you're just a realtor, or he's just a realtor. That I can't stand. When people like think they're above someone else, hard work is hard work. When someone puts it in, respect it. And I find that, I work in an area, just keep this in mind. You work in a super high net worth area where people are doing some pretty crazy things. So they are very confident. Very confident. And so, you need to be on your game. You need to be on your game. And I think that's why, it's been a good business for me over the 13 years, as I wore a suit for 11 and a half of them. And the same way I'm tenacious here and I've been showing up every day for 694, I don't ever quit. Like I show up, I'm there every day, and, I have a building background, so I'm providing added value. The drone, added value. Life is about doing more. That's why I want to sign CDs and send them to people who are donating $50. Be like, thank you. Wow. Let me give you a CD at least signed. Like, is it the least I could do? That's such a nice, generous thing that you just did, So just like I said, to me, real estate, I'm enjoying selling real estate. But I want to start using this program in order to get some referrals so I can focus more here and build more content for you guys here. Because I really, truly believe that I love real estate, but now that I know what I'm meant to do with my life, it's kind of crazy that I'm spending so much time every day on real estate. It's just I got to make money. So that is the difficult thing about it. But realistically, like, it's fun. It's great. But the referral thing would be a great way for me to just create way more content for you guys. Like, do you guys know last 3 nights, I have so much content, it's hard for me to drop it all because I don't have enough time. I'm in the middle of doing all this real estate stuff. And I'm like, I'll drop this real quick. I'll throw this out there. So one day in the future, if this is meant to be the way it's meant to be, I'm just going to be creating all day long. I'll be live multiple times a day, dropping content all day long. And it's just going to be better content because I'm going to be able to really focus on it, and more face swaps. Bottom line. Thank you, AZ. You're awesome. You're so awesome. Sig said, hold the line. 4 years fighting Russia hoax. Yeah, give them 4 weeks to run them up. Maybe. Regardless of what happens, guys, we will be okay. We will. Because we won't let them take over our country. Although that's not true. They did it for 4 years, and we just sat by and watched. Nobody could do a thing about it because they just make up things like everyone's racist. So, anyway, as far as it goes, I had a couple people offline reach out and say that they had property that they needed to either buy, sell, or interested in doing, renting new property, etc. So my email address is super easy, mark@markpiresrealtalk.com. And if you guys... Nice! Daniel's having new windows installed. Nice, brother. Yeah, Sig says on DLive we need to make lemonade. Let me see. I'm going to head over to the DLive channel real quick. But you can expect later on, guys, I'm dropping the Cuomo over clip right before the show, just so you know. I did not specifically, I'm holding that one back until we get to the show time. That was such a good clip yesterday. Oh, so excited to play that, drop that for the world. Cuomo over. Nicole Karras followed us over on DLive. Thank you, Nicole. Yeah, we're on DLive as well right now, guys. Nobody's on with us currently. You know, it's weird. When you come on midday, nobody expects it. I just wanted to come on. I'm going to be doing this every day, guys. And again, if you have any real estate questions or any curiosities about real estate, come with your questions. Send a note on the screen, whatever it is, and we'll get into them. I mean, really, there's nothing off limits when it comes to real estate. I've dealt with a lot of crazy scenarios, so I'm hoping that a good question comes up that I can share the answer to for you. Let me see. I'm going back to the other screen. There we go. There we go. So, guys, tonight I'll be live in about 3 hours. I'm going to do a 7:30 show, 7:30 to about like 10:30, 11. So the plan. Although, you know, probably be until 1. Who knows? We'll be playing some music for you later, so if you have any requests, make sure you send them across to me. You can email them to me. You can drop a... the other thing I had happen, which was a cool thing, same thing, I never really had this before, but I got a Venmo donation and with a song request. That's kind of like par for the course. I mean, we were saying, Sig was saying, you know, you could do song requests on with a super chat on the screen and say, hey, play Tom Petty, whatever. Same thing, the Venmo and PayPal, just a note. It could be any time. Just say, hey, thanks for what you're doing or whatever. Can you play this tune tonight? Here's a little something. Doesn't have to be much, guys. I really just appreciate the support. And I'm happy to play anything you ask. Absolutely. If I know it. If I don't, I'll make up a song. Make up a song with the title. We've been doing that a lot, right? But guys, I'm going to take off now so we can make sure we get a killer show in later. So make sure you spread the word. When I go live later, if you can share it on your pages, that's going to be a way for us to build to new audiences because YouTube is not blaring this show out. It's you guys that are blaring it out there, and you're awesome. So, until later, my family and friends. Arizona, AZ Raven. Okay, let's see. What's, for what it's worth, Buffalo Springfield. Sig, my... Oh, yeah. He's got the Sig Sauer... Macho Man Savage over there. Daniel, my brother, thanks for popping in. Sid, thank you for popping in. Rick, good to see you, buddy. I will be back later, guys. Keep your eyes and ears open for the ding when you see Cuomo go live. I'm doing the Cuomo bit right before we go live tonight. Although, I don't know, I may drop that randomly in between because I have songs from yesterday that were so good. I haven't even gone into yesterday yet. I need an editor. I have to figure this all out, guys. But for now, I cannot wait for tonight's show. Day 694 in a row, part 2. We're 6 days away from the 700th day, my friends. I'll see you later. It's Mark Pires. And it's real talk. Love you guys. Woo! Did that even go?